a bartender, a chef, and a cook line.
Just the remaining people on the highway that are trying to evacuate and get out of the area. You can see the huge plume of smoke behind me. We do want to point out what's happening on Highway 1 just down the hill here. Take a look at the traffic.
Now, this customer had to pay nearly $800 more than they normally would, but then the next 2 billing cycles it dropped. Usually people come down this aisle to find air purifiers, but they're all sold out.
Plan A involves all in-person classes. Plan B is a hybrid of in-person and online, and it's not going to provide just 1 or 2 beds, but nearly 900. In this room alone, about 160.
Praise, wave your hand, awesome job.
For the Martinez kids, it's back to school in the back seat.
It's hard because I get distraction and that stuff.
Learning multiplication while sitting in a car.
Not that much space and uncomfortable.
In the middle of a heat wave with the air conditioner cranked. Their at-home Wi-Fi isn't enough to support all 5 kids. So Mother Andrea takes 4 of them to parking lots with stronger connectivity.
They need to learn more and more, so this is why I come here.
The first week of school has taken place here and here. Pandemic-induced distance learning is one of the many struggles families are facing.
I can't work like that.
It's difficult because the kids don't want to stay in the car for a long time.
And it's time she could use to finish other responsibilities.
I need to clean the house, make the food.
Instead, she spends it making sure her kids aren't marked absent from class.
Hunter, what's your question?
Educators with the Lucia Mar Unified School District say they're working to distribute 350 Wi-Fi hotspots to families in need, with 250 more on the way.
As people are starting school and seeing what school really looks like, we've been receiving additional requests for more. Because Lucia Mar is a geographically large region.
The Martinez family says they already got their Wi-Fi hotspot, but it's not enough.
We do have some families out there who continue to struggle with this distance learning model, and it is very important to us that we find out who is struggling, what the challenges are, so we can help troubleshoot those challenges.
Parents, students, and teachers all navigating a new way of learning. Investigators stepped foot once again into this blue home on East Branch Street in Arroyo Grande. After reading news about the new search warrants, Matthew Harrington drove down from San Luis Obispo to see the action for himself.
Something's happening. Something's definitely happening, and I'm excited to see what comes from it.
And he wasn't alone. A crowd of people watched from across the street as the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office and FBI agents served a search warrant at the home of Paul Flores' mother, Susan Flores, looking for key items in the Kristin Smart investigation.
I saw there's definitely things going on, taped off, FBI present, Sheriff's Office present. Seems like they were taking things out of the house, items of interest, and it's just very exciting to see.
As investigators bag evidence, you can see Susan Flores pacing inside the home, a home that's been the subject of searches and taunting.
Give it up! Justice!
Ever since 19-year-old Cal Poly student Kristin Smart disappeared. It's her home that also sits just 1,000 feet from this billboard. Neighbors of Ruben Flores, Paul's father, tell KSBY they saw investigators search his house on White Court Way in Arroyo Grande too. And Paul Flores woke up to a search warrant of his own, served at his current home in San Pedro.
There's a dog in the backyard, and that's it.
The King County Sheriff's Office confirmed to KSBY that its team helped serve a 4th search warrant in Kenmore, Washington. It's believed Paul's sister, Ermelinda, lives there. A recent podcast is keeping the Kristin Smart case alive in the community.
It's just been definitely bringing a lot more light to the case, so that right there is just making a huge difference.
And many hope answers were found inside the homes searched Wednesday. Running, biking, and swimming. 3 exercises Sonia Wick used to motivate herself as a new mom.
After I had my daughter, I started getting back into it to lose baby weight, and I found the sport and I just fell in love with it. And it's been a great history ever since.
A history that started as a triathlon now includes 18 Ironman races, more than 60 half Ironmans, and 6 Kona Ironman World Championships, taking 2nd place for her age group in 2015.
And I kind of transitioned over more to an endurance athlete, adventure athlete, looking for kind of the next great thing.
The next great thing Mark Burnett's World's Toughest Race Eco Challenge Fiji, hosted by Bear Grylls. And it was more than just running, biking, and swimming.
Rock climbing, swimming, mountain biking, sailing, outrigger canoeing, stand-up paddleboarding, whitewater rafting.
Through hundreds of miles
So this is Fiji.
of uncharted territory.
I'm used to racing on courses that are totally laid out for me. I can just put my head down, pedal to the metal, but this was so different.
Leading her team, Iron Cowboy,
With the logo and your number and your country patch.
with only a map and compass,
This was our first map.
barely eating or sleeping.
When I was on the mountain bike and we rode through a village, she took a fried donut and just shoved it in my mouth. And I wanted to marry her. She was just, I needed that donut at that point in time.
At times unsure where to go.
Navigating 10 days straight was a lot of responsibility on my shoulders to not get us lost. And sometimes I did get us lost.
When pushed to her breaking point, one lesson pulled her through.
Whatever you're saying in your brain is what is going to come out in your actions.
A mentality that helped her overcome the unthinkable.
I am a tough chick, and I'm proud of that.
A tough chick, that Sonia's now 14-year-old daughter. Her motivation in all of this cheers on. As the pandemic continues, adventure doesn't stop.
I'm used to adventuring all over the world, but now I'm getting to adventure close to home in SLO County.
By sharing her story, Wick hopes to inspire others to keep going, no matter how rough the road.
In the World's Toughest Race, you're going to see a lot of athletes who are pushing through really hard things and triumphing on the other side and learning a lot about themselves. And I think we can take that lesson in the times of COVID right now, where we've all got to be locked down. I hope that we can provide some inspiration and make you think a little bit differently.
In Los Osos, I'm Megan Healy, KSBY News.
With breaking news.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Healy. We begin our 11 o'clock show with breaking news. The first case of coronavirus has been reported in San Luis Obispo County. Lompoc police are investigating an attempted murder after an early morning shooting that hurt 2 people. By now, almost all of us know what social distancing means, but actually doing it is a different story, especially in states that are back open for business. Here's an earlier look out at Pismo Beach. The beaches are going to be something you might want to avoid because we could see potential for lightning, water spouts out overseas, so you might want to stay inside, drink a nice cup of cocoa, watch that Netflix series that you are binge watching already. This brings us to our watches and warnings here. Lots to talk about. Gale warning expiring early Monday morning. We could see 20 to 30 knots, gusts up to 40. Guys, these waves could be anywhere from 7 to 11 feet, so pretty dangerous in the outer waters of Santa Barbara County.